In 1975, Vietnam was reunited after decades of war and division. 50 years later, in 2025, a new chapter begins, one shaped not by conflict, but by ambition. Ho Chi Minh City, the country's economic engine, is about to grow even larger. Merging with neighboring provinces, it will form a vast new megacity on the southern coast. But this isn't just about size. The goal? To transform the city into a global financial hub, on par with Singapore or even Shanghai, by the year 2045. Is that vision within reach? The year 2025 marks a milestone, 50 years since Vietnam's reunification, and the beginning of its boldest reforms in decades. At the heart of it all, a plan to reshape how the country is governed. Vietnam is streamlining its entire state apparatus, from top to bottom. 4 national ministries will be dissolved. 1 ministerial-level agency will be removed. That's a reduction of nearly 23% of central government focal points. At the local level, the changes are even more dramatic. The current 63 provinces and cities, they'll be consolidated into just 34 provincial-level units, 28 provinces, and 6 centrally run cities. The civil service will also be trimmed. Over 130,000 government positions, roughly 20%, are expected to be cut. The goal? A leaner, faster, and more effective government built for a new era of growth. And nowhere is this transformation more visible than in Ho Chi Minh City. Already the nation's economic powerhouse, the city is now set to expand, absorbing Binh Duong to the north and Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu to the southeast. This merger creates a vast economic corridor, uniting finance, logistics, manufacturing, and tourism in a single integrated region. Connected by highways, ports, and airports, it could become one of Southeast Asia's most dynamic urban zones. Vietnam has set its sights high. By 2045, the 100th anniversary of independence, the country aims to join the ranks of fully developed nations. That means crossing a major threshold, a national GDP per capita of over $25,000. It's a bold leap from today, where Vietnam's GDP per capita stands at around $4,700. But with an average annual growth rate of 6.5 to 7%, that future is within reach. If current trends hold, Vietnam's total GDP could surpass $1.8 trillion by 2045, nearly 4 times today's size. For Ho Chi Minh City, the beating heart of that growth, there's an even more ambitious goal: to break into the top 20 global financial centers. According to the latest 2025 rankings of CEO World Magazine, out of 115 financial centers evaluated, Ho Chi Minh City ranked 89th. But the momentum is building. Foreign direct investment remains strong. Tech startups and banks are booming. And the city's population, currently more than 9 million, is expected to grow to more than 13.5 million after merging with Binh Duong and Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu. Over the next 2 decades, the megacity is forecast to reach more than 17 million people. With new urban zones, financial districts, and global connectivity in the pipeline, the foundation is being laid. The question now is not whether Ho Chi Minh City is growing, but whether it can evolve fast enough to lead. So, what gives this new megacity a real shot at global relevance? It starts with location. Ho Chi Minh City sits just inland from the South China Sea, near one of the busiest maritime routes on Earth. Over 80,000 vessels pass through the Malacca Strait and East Sea region every year, carrying goods between China, Japan, Europe, and the US. That makes southern Vietnam a strategic logistics hub, connecting global trade to Southeast Asia's economic heart. It also serves as the gateway to the Mekong Delta, home to over 20 million people and vital for agriculture, aquaculture, and food exports. And this corridor connects to Thailand, Cambodia, and the broader Greater Mekong sub-region, placing Vietnam right at the intersection of emerging supply chains. Then comes the merger. The vision is not just to expand Ho Chi Minh City, but to integrate it with Binh Duong to the north and Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu to the southeast. Together they form a multi-core urban powerhouse. Binh Duong, a high-tech manufacturing zone, over 4,000 FDI projects, hosting factories from Samsung, Lego, Tokyo, and Unilever. Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu, home to the Chi Minh City deep-sea port cluster, among the top 20 globally for cargo throughput, and a center for oil and gas production. With ports, production, logistics, and a growing services sector all connected, this emerging megacity gains the scale and integration that global investors look for. Infrastructure synergies are already forming. New expressways, ring roads, and railway links are designed to tie these zones into a single ecosystem. But growth isn't just about land and logistics. It's also about momentum. Vietnam's GDP continues to surge. As mentioned earlier, Vietnam's economy is growing at 6.5 to 7% annually. That's faster than most ASEAN peers, and it positions Vietnam as a key player in the next wave of Asian development. In 2024 alone, foreign direct investment pledges exceeded $38 billion. Manufacturing leads, especially electronics and semiconductors. But real estate, green energy, and digital infrastructure are all expanding. Top investors? South Korea, with nearly 9,500 projects. Japan, focusing on smart cities and infrastructure. And the United States, growing in high-tech and clean energy sectors. And then, there's the human factor. Vietnam has one of the youngest populations in Asia, with a median age of just over 33, and in Ho Chi Minh City, over 60% are under 40. This is a generation raised on smartphones, global platforms, and digital skills. The startup ecosystem is booming. Vietnam ranks in the top 3 ASEAN countries for tech startup funding. Ho Chi Minh City hosts over 3,000 startups, with key growth in fintech, e-commerce, and AI. And with a middle class expected to double by 2030, domestic demand for housing, retail, healthcare, and financial services is rising fast. In short, the fundamentals are strong: strategic location, integrated scale, economic momentum, human capital. It's a rare combination. And it's what gives this new Vietnamese megacity a shot at standing shoulder to shoulder with the world's emerging urban giants. Impressive growth alone isn't enough to make a city a global financial center. Ho Chi Minh City has momentum, but turning momentum into global status comes with hard challenges. Let's start with one of the biggest. Vietnam's currency, the dong, is not freely convertible. That means it's not fully traded on international markets. Businesses and investors can't move money in and out as freely as they can in places like London, Singapore, or New York. The Vietnamese government manages the exchange rate through a controlled band system, centered around a daily reference rate. This system helps limit inflation and currency volatility. But it also means the financial flows are restricted. For example, if a foreign fund wants to exit a project in Vietnam, it must convert dong to dollars under strict regulations with potential delays or ceilings. Compare this with Singapore, where capital moves without friction, and you start to see the gap. In 2023, Vietnam held around $95 billion in foreign exchange reserves. Singapore, by contrast, held over $360 billion, with a population less than 6 million. These reserves matter. They help defend the currency and boost investor confidence. Right now, many international investors hedge their bets in Vietnam, keeping capital outside or routing it through safer jurisdictions. Then there's the issue of financial infrastructure. Vietnam has made strides, but it still lacks deep capital markets, a wide range of financial instruments like derivatives or structured products, and the institutional depth seen in more mature markets. Its two stock exchanges in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City are relatively small, with market capitalization hovering around 50 to 60% of GDP. Compare that to Singapore, where the market cap is over 160% of GDP, or Hong Kong at over 1,200%. These financial centers offer liquidity, scale, and a full ecosystem of services, something Vietnam is still building. Another concern is regulatory consistency. Vietnam is actively reforming its legal system, but progress is uneven. Investors still cite concerns over land use rights, transparency and dispute resolution, and frequent policy changes without clear implementation guidelines. A World Bank report in 2023 ranked Vietnam 70th out of 190 economies in terms of ease of doing business. Better than some, but far from the top-tier financial centers it aims to rival. Inconsistencies between central and provincial policies can delay projects and discourage large institutional investors. In short, Vietnam is on the rise, but compared to Singapore, Shanghai, or Tokyo, it's still early in the game. Building a financial hub isn't just about tall buildings and fast growth. It's about trust, transparency, and deep capital access. And that takes time. 4. Vietnam's new megacity to compete on the world stage. Financial reform is not optional. It's essential. The first step? Deeper liberalization of its financial markets. That means lifting barriers to capital flows, gradually easing currency convertibility, and building trustworthy legal frameworks that protect investors, foreign and domestic. Without these changes, global capital will remain cautious, and high-potential sectors like green energy, advanced manufacturing, and tech finance may stall. But reform isn't just about finance. It's about ecosystem readiness. Talent pipelines must be strengthened. Vietnam's universities and vocational programs need tighter links to industries like fintech, AI, and logistics. That includes not just coders and engineers, but also legal experts, regulators, and urban planners trained for a fast-changing global economy. Infrastructure must also keep pace. The megacity's future hinges on mobility and efficiency. Seamless metro lines, smart highways, green energy grids, and cross-border logistics must become the new standard. That's how you build not just a bigger city, but a smarter one. And finally, openness. Openness to foreign partnerships, openness to data-driven governance, and openness to urban experimentation that learns from models like Singapore, Seoul, or Shenzhen. Because in today's world, global relevance is earned, not inherited. If Vietnam can align reform with execution, this megacity won't just be the largest in the country. It could become Southeast Asia's next urban heavyweight. Now, a new chapter begins. The megacity project isn't just about urban expansion. It's about national ambition and the belief that Vietnam can stand shoulder to shoulder with the world's economic giants. But bold visions demand bold execution. The road to 2045, Vietnam's centennial, won't be paved by GDP growth alone. It will require systemic reform, long-term planning, and the ability to adapt to a changing global order. If Vietnam gets it right, the HCMC megacity won't just be the biggest in the country. It could be Asia's next financial tiger. A city that connects capital, talent, and innovation across continents. The climb will be steep, but with the right steps, this isn't just possible, it's within reach.